And we're back with another segment of the M Squared TechCast. We are joined for this segment by Lisa Kijawa, who is associate. Why don't you give me your title? Because I know it has changed fairly recently.
I'm the Associate Provost for Enrollment and Outreach.
Okay. And that's at my employer, Lawrence Technological University. So it's a shameless plug time for pretty much this whole segment here. But we just announced something last week that we're pretty excited about, and that is that we are planning on bringing students back to campus for fall semester, which starts August 24th. Lisa, why don't you give us some of the details on it?
Yeah, so, it's been really interesting, Matt, because both on the side of current students and on the side of new students, they were clamoring for engagement. They wanted to talk to us. So we've been, since the shutdown happened, extremely busy, which for us, we're happy about that. Yep. And so the faculty, particularly and the administration, have been working so hard at identifying how we will come back, what are the protocols, the precautions, the measures in place to keep people safe and healthy, but to be able to bring everybody back on ground. And so the president put out a letter last week saying we're going to do just that. And we have a plan for housing, we have a plan for the classrooms, we have a plan for the entire campus. So that's going to be a positive thing, and we're already communicating that with our parents and students.
So why don't you communicate that with us? How are you going to do that? Everyone's wondering, are you going to have 6-foot separation? Are you going to have classrooms only 50% full? How are you going to do it?
So let's start with the classrooms. So they're going to do six feet distancing. Now, keep in mind that obviously this is all going to change. That's the point about this being very fluid, because it keeps changing. So we have to look at, is there another executive order? Is there another, can you have more than this number of people in a classroom? So the other point is they're sanitary. There's over 100 sanitary machines throughout campus. There's also social distancing Blue Devils on the ground, which will also be in the hallways. So when students leave class, they follow that as well. All students have to wear masks, whether if they're in a classroom or in the hallway. If they're just studying somewhere by themselves, they don't have to. They're looking at a variety of different things. So for example, let's say I have a class and it meets 2 days a week. Then maybe, and there's 32 students in a classroom, then 15 or 16 would come on Monday, and the other 15 or 16 would Zoom from their dorm room. And then that would be reversed on Wednesday. Now, again, this is all up for interpretation, because we're going to continuously identify more that's coming from the governor. So in the residence hall, I think they have a fabulous plan. So when you come in, you're going to get a packet, a health and safety packet. You're going to be assigned a toilet, a desk, a bed, a shower, and a sink. And that's that whole trace testing, so that if I get number 1 toilet, I get number 1 sink, I get number 1 shower, right? So that's a positive thing. We're going to do the number of students we have on campus. We're not minimizing or trying to, unless a student requests it. So that's the plan thus far. We're going to start at the same time, which is August 24th. We're going to end 3 weeks right after Thanksgiving, and the last 3 weeks will be online. And that will help. Then they'll leave, they go home, they do, an exam or whatever they're doing. And then when they come back in January. So people aren't coming and going to, be able to, again, do the campus a deep clean and, start up back in January.
Now, the dormitories, I don't know how you have them set up. Are they single, one person to a room, or are they shared rooms, or how are they set up?
It's 2 people to a room. So we have apartment style, which could have 4 people, and we have community style, which could have 2 people. But we're not going to, just a little tidbit. The only reason why these bigger universities are saying we're going to do it 1-2 is because they don't have full housing. Lawrence Tech has full housing. And so we're looking at identifying opportunities. Like, for example, with the apartment style living on campus, that's not going to change because there's guidance for apartments everywhere. It's the way we're going to do the community based. And that, I think the Dean of Students and the Housing Residence Hall Director did a fabulous job. They have everything identified. So
So what you're saying then is that every student in a communal dorm setting where you have communal restroom facilities and communal shower facilities, they will be assigned to a specific place within those facilities, and then there will be a limited number of people using them, and you will know who they are.
Exactly.
Which just in case something does happen makes contact tracing a whole lot easier. Right?
100%. The other
Okay.
thing, when they come on campus, you'll have to fill out the form like we all do now, which asks you 5 or 6 questions. And if you answer yes to any one of them, then you will be isolated, and they'll have an area for isolation.
Okay.
Now, I guess what you've been doing previous the last couple of months has all been virtual. And how has that worked out?
Oh my gosh, I just have to say, I will say that I'm more proud of LTU because we're a private technological university. And as a result of that, we were faster getting to the point of putting everything online. And even the Office of Admissions with putting all virtual presentations, appointments. We have now a virtual orientation fully online. All the placement assessments are online. We have students moving through the process if it was on ground. So we move so quickly and so fast. The interesting thing is students want that engagement. They missed out on so much opportunity that they're waiting to get to that next accomplishment. And so it's been very easy to communicate with them because they keep responding. So that's a plus for us. And Matt and I had the opportunity to do these porch visits with our Blue Devil. We identified.
I wanted to talk about that.
We identified some students, and we went and congratulated them and brought them some LTU swag. And Matt can tell you, we were both blown away about both the parents and the students. They were so happy, and it made us feel so good that they want to get to that next level, and that next level is LTU.
Yeah, we chose a bunch, Mike. We chose a bunch of students at random, more or less at random, and gave them a visit with all appropriate social distancing measures in place from Blue, our mascot, and Lisa and some of the other staff. And it was a very heartwarming experience because they're so excited about going to college and going to LTU. And you can tell they just are really fired up about it, and it was a lot of fun. It was very cool, and that's the kind of thing that you get at a smaller school. Lisa, the one thing I wanted to stress to people also is that Lawrence Tech is known for small class sizes and a low student faculty ratio of, I think it's 11-to-1 right now. So I mean, we don't have lectures with 400 people in them. So we don't have the problem that a lot of the big, state schools might have. We have a lot of classes that are like 10 to 15 people, right? So it is a heck of a lot easier to stay 6 feet apart talking a class of 15 people. So.
Yeah. And then but I imagine you have labs. Are the labs going to be kind of like the way you describe, or you're going to alternate? Some people, how can you do a lab virtually though? Can you do a lab virtually? Or?
Well, actually they did the labs virtually
Really?
when in the spring when we had to go fully on shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And students liked it but really didn't like it, and it's only because of the kinds of degrees we offer. I mean, everything is hands-on, so that's where the faculty spend a lot of time, is looking at how we could do this better but do it on ground. Mm-hmm. So we went around, they measured every classroom, every lab space, every project where there's project-based learning going on, the studios, all of that, to identify if we have this many people, how could we alter the space? If we have this many people, how could we alter the space? So they have a lot of different plans. And again, that's the positive, as Matt said, about us being a small private, but also very entrepreneurial. They're looking for creative ways to do things, right? So that's what they're doing. And then the hope is that by the middle of July, we'll know more about, okay, now she says you can have 100 people outside. Well, can you have 40 inside? Because as Matt said, if that's the case, we're not going to have an issue because we don't have big classes.
I went to the University of Michigan. My freshman year, we had like 600 in a lecture hall.
Right.
I haven't heard much out of the big schools how they're going to handle this, because I think they're still trying to sort it all out. So.
Well, I would have to think that the 600-person lecture is still going to be virtual, still going to be online.
Yeah.
I went to a smaller school. I went to Albion College, and the biggest class I ever had was a freshman physics class, and I don't think it even had 30 people in it. It was like 28 people, and that was the biggest class I ever had there. So,
And the interesting thing is, So I know Matt knows this, and Mike, you might have read, but there was an article in the newspaper, I want to say maybe a month ago, and it talked about 26% of the students in Michigan rethinking their first choice.
Yeah.
And that rethinking was about a public university for all the reasons you just said.
Mhm.
If you're a parent and you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I need them to be closer to home, that's us. If you're a parent and you say, well, I need them to be a smaller environment, that's us. If there's a lot of easier ways we can make this work for our staff, our faculty, and our students. And as I said, we welcome all those students to come to LTU. If you're rethinking that choice, come on over, because we have a better opportunity for you here.
Okay, I guess that was a shameless plug, but we'll save that one for later. But how much could you expand? I mean, I think you're 2,000, 3,000, somewhere in that ballpark, right?
Yeah, around 3,500 students, close to 1,000 that live on campus.
How many more could you accommodate? You just invited the world to apply, so how many more could you handle?
I think we could go up to 5,000. That's our goal.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
That's sort of the edge of being a small school. You can't, if you're over 5,000 students, it's hard to call yourself a small school. So,
yes, right.
Okay. And then the sports program, I know obviously it's outdoors for football and things like that. What's your thinking along those lines? Have you figured that out yet?
So I don't want to speak for our Dean of Students, but he just met with the president and the NAIA, and they have guidelines, and they're going to follow everything related to CDC guidelines and what the NIA says. Excuse me. But bottom line is sports will start in the fall. So as again, we progress and we see more what those guidelines are, depending upon how many people we can have in the stands or different things like that. So, but yes, sports will start, and we're going to move forward on that.
Yeah, I'm a season's ticket holder for the University of Michigan football.
I know.
And I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, if they do 6 feet apart, maybe you'll get 20 or 30,000 people in there, and there's 90,000 season ticket holders. So they keep telling us stuff, but they haven't figured that out yet either.
Yes.
So.
Well, I know the NAIA, Mike, our sanctioning authority, basically delayed the start of football season, so we lost our first 2 games that were we're going to have 2 games in August actually, and those games have been canceled. So we're going to apparently play an 8-game season instead of a 10-game season, and it's going to start sometime after Labor Day.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's as much as I know about football. I don't know anything about any of the indoor sports. Is volleyball's a fall sport, right?
Yeah, I think it's fall and spring. Yeah.
And that's indoor, but I haven't heard anything about volleyball yet. And basketball, we don't have to worry about until November. So
that's right. Yes. Who knows what'll happen?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. We're in our last minute, so you've already given your shameless plug, but I'll let you do it again, Lisa.
Okay.
So
I just want to say, LTU is a special place. The students here mean very much to all of us. Our students are some of the best. That's why they get such great jobs after they leave us. And we want more of those types of students that want a private technological focus. That's what I said to many people. It's like, this is your moment. This is your moment for these young people who had to go through so much, and so much was taken from them. Yeah. Come to LTU and you'll get it all back.
Okay. And right. I'm sure there's a website. Would one of you like to provide that address?
LTU.edu/admissions or admissions@ltu.edu. Look us up. Come see us. Call us. Happy to talk to you.
Well, 4-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life. But LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.